a Labor commitment to the election to have the test based on the public interest. And we're now here in the last few hours of debate and the government can't think of a single case that would see a public hearing being held.
Minister.
Thanks, Deputy President. Thanks, Senator Shoebridge. I suspect this is something we're going to have to agree to disagree on. It's not that the government can't think of examples of exceptional circumstances, it's that the government does not wish to constrain the Commission by giving examples of exceptional circumstances. I can think of examples of what I think might be exceptional circumstances. I'm sure that you can as well, Senator Shoebridge, but it's neither your job nor mine to decide for the Commission what those exceptional circumstances are. It's the job of the Commission, acting independently of government, without being constrained by examples or rules that a government puts down. We want this to be an independent body. We want it to make its own decisions about what it considers to be exceptional circumstances, which may very well be the same as what I think, or it may be something different.
Senator Shoebridge.
If the government genuinely didn't want to constrain the NAC's ability to hold public hearings, then why did the government move away from its election commitment to simply have a test based on the public interest, which works so well in jurisdictions such as the New South Wales ICAC? Why did the government move away from that election commitment and insert the additional threshold of exceptional circumstances? What was wrong with the public interest test that you took to the election?
Minister.
Thank you, Deputy President. Senator Shoebridge, while I didn't take part in the Senate inquiry, I have no doubt that this is something that you have asked repeatedly and had answered many times. I respect your right to keep asking the same questions, but you have heard these answers before. The government has come to a view that the Commissioner is best placed to determine that public hearings should be able to be held in exceptional circumstances. The reason we have taken that path is we do think that it is the Commissioner's role to make that sort of decision, rather than setting a different test, the test that you are advocating yourself.
Senator Shoebridge.
Minister, why does your government think that politicians in this place, in the federal parliament, should have that shield and protection from public scrutiny based on an exceptional circumstances test, when we know that in New South Wales, as a key example, that shield isn't there, and the public interest test has been so effective in holding politicians to account at a New South Wales level? What's special about federal politicians that they need this protection?
Minister.
Well, I suspect this is going to be the first of many times that Senator Shoebridge seeks to mischaracterise the government's position. We've become pretty well acquainted with that style of debate from Senator Shoebridge in his short time here. But as Senator Shoebridge knows, there are different approaches that are taken by different states as to how they handle public hearings. New South Wales does take a different approach to, for instance, what happens in South Australia, what happens in the Northern Territory, and possibly other jurisdictions as well, where the government has landed. And let's not forget, there were people in this place who didn't think there should be any public hearings whatsoever, and that is not the position of our government. We do think that there is a place for public hearings for corruption investigations, but we think they should apply in what the Commission considers to be exceptional circumstances. But I look forward to Senator Shoebridge telling me something different to what I just said in his next contribution.
Senator Pocock.
Thank you, Minister, for that. I have a question also relating to exceptional circumstances. I note the Labor Party's platform leading into the election. The National Anti-Corruption Commission fact sheet says that the Commission will have the power to hold public hearings where the Commission determines it is in the public interest to do so. I've heard and take on board your feedback. So my question is, given how much we've heard about election commitments, can you confirm that your government is open to changing their mind when presented with other information when it comes to an election commitment?
Minister.
Thanks, Senator Pocock, and can I thank you for your cooperation and negotiation throughout this debate. I know this is something that's been important to you as well. I don't think I'm going to fall into the trap, though, of answering hypotheticals about what we might do about election commitments. I'd probably want to know a little bit more detail about what you're talking about before I answer that kind of a question. But we have, over the process of drafting this legislation, we think that we've got the balance right in limiting the Commission's ability to hold public hearings to what it considers to be exceptional circumstances.
Thank you, Minister, for that. I appreciate your engagement on this issue. So I just wanted to confirm that you accept the view that if this is legislated in its current form, it will differ from what the now government went to the election promising the Australian people.
Minister.
Thanks, Senator Pocock. I don't think I'm going to sort of get into how every word of what we've ended up presenting is identical, slightly different to an election commitment. I think it was very clear heading into the election that if the Australian people voted for an Albanese Labor government, they would get a National Anti-Corruption Commission, something that the former government resisted every step of the way. And I'm very proud that it is going to be an Albanese Labor government that delivers, for the very first time, a National Anti-Corruption Commission.
Senator Shoebridge.
Minister, do you accept the basic premise of what Senator Pocock has put to you, which is you went to an election promising public hearings based upon a public interest test, and you've now junked that commitment and you've put in this additional, much, much harsher test of exceptional circumstances, which is contrary to what you took to the election?
Minister.
Thanks, Acting Deputy President. What I would accept is that it will be an Albanese Labor government that delivers a National Anti-Corruption Commission. That was our promise. That's what we're delivering. I think it's fabulous, and it's a great day for Australian democracy if we can get this passed and established. And the final form of this bill, whether it be in relation to this matter or any other, is the result of extensive consultation that the government has undertaken since winning the election.